Dear students, a very warm welcome to today's session. Today we will deal with a very easy and interesting topic, which is your male and female reproductive system. It is easy and interesting because जदि एई टॉपिक टा एई चैप्टर टारे जहाँ कंटेंट अच्छी सेटा रियल लाइफ रे एप्लीकेबल न ही थांता ताहले आज तुम माने बसिकी पाठ पढ़ु न थांतो कि मु एठी तम क्लास नौ न थांती. This is only because of the process of reproduction that we exist on earth. So, today we will discuss in general what are the contents of male and female reproductive system, how they function, how they are regulated and what various type of disorders they are associated with. The content for our class today is, we will deal with very simple things. Firstly, what are the differences between a male and female reproductive system. Then we will go to the anatomical details of male reproductive system. What are the hormonal regulations that take place for the male reproductive system? What are the associated diseases? And then we will move on to the detailed anatomy of female reproductive system, their hormonal regulation and associated diseases or disorders. So, starting from the basic, what is reproduction actually? Reproduction is actually a biological process by which the offsprings are produced by their parents, and we can divide this process into two broad categories. Those are sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. दिया जाक भितर डिफरेंस एया कौन ना जदि सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन आम डील करछे इट इज मोस्टली यूनिपेरेंटल जड़े पेरेंट को द्वारा असेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन पॉसिबल हो पारिबो. And if we are dealing with sexual reproduction, we need two parents or biparental. तले डायग्राम रे देखि पारिबो स्लाइड रे asexual reproduction रो गोटे एग्जांपल मु देछि जो थरे कि हाइड्रा केमते रिप्रोड्यूस करछि सेटा हमें देखिछि. आउ राइट साइड रे जो डायग्राम टी लेबल करा हिछि जोटा कि sexual mode of reproduction which mostly occurs in human beings, that involves two parents, a father and a mother, and these are diploid organisms. These diploid organisms, they will produce haploid gametes, and when these haploid gametes will undergo fertilization, they will produce again a diploid zygote which will grow to become a fully functional human being. ताहले एटा तुमको आश्चर्यजनक लागुनी कि गोटे सिंगल सेल रो आमे समस्त तैयारी हेचे आ सेही सिंगल सेल डिवाइड करिकी हमर हाथ गोड़ो आ बाकी सब ऑर्गन फॉर्मेशन करिछि. तेणु ये एंटायर इंटरेस्टिंग चैप्टर एंटायर इंटरेस्टिंग फेनोमेनाटा केमती होची आमे डिटेल्स रे पढ़िबा. नाउ दीज आर द ह्यूमन रिप्रोडक्टिव ऑर्गन्स. मेल और फीमेल रो डिफरेंट रिप्रोडक्टिव ऑर्गन्स थाए आउ आमे काहाको रिप्रोडक्टिव ऑर्गन्स बोली कहबा ना दीज आर दोज ऑर्गन्स दैट विल प्रोड्यूस न्यू इंडिविजुअल्स एंड पास ऑन द जेनेटिक मटेरियल फ्रॉम वन जनरेशन टू द अदर. Coming to the basic differences between a male and female reproductive system. आगो जानिबा जे मेल और फीमेल रो कोन बेसिक डिफरेंसेस अछि तांको रिप्रोडक्टिव सिस्टम रे तापरे हमें तमरो डिटेल्ड एनाटॉमिकल एस्पेक्ट को जिबा. बाय डेफिनेशन जदि हमें देखिबा these are the male in case of male reproductive system, these are the organ system which will produce sperms or which will produce your gametes by the process of meiosis in testis, and in case of female this will produce ovum or egg in the ovary. Location जदि हमें देखिबा in case of male it is both intra-abdominal and extra-abdominal. Extra-abdominal माने आमा abdominal cavity बाहरे जेतिकी पार्ट रहिला reproductive system रो like तमरो scrotal sac रहिबो, testis रहिबो, penis रहिबो, these all are extra-abdominal. But in case of females, all the genital organs or all the reproductive structures are located in your lower abdominal cavity. Now, coming to the main components between these two. In case of male, the main components will include the scrotum, testis, the genital duct system and accessory glands. And in case of females, it will include pair of ovaries, their duct system and the extragenital organs like your vulva. Now, coming to the hormonal production, In case of male, testosterone is the major hormone that is produced. In case of female, progesterone and estrogen are produced. And when we come to numbers, in human males, millions of sperms are produced at a time, but when it comes to female reproductive system, only a single oocyte is produced per month. And coming to the functionality aspect, in case of male, it is functional till old age. Ta mane till old age all the males can produce viable sperms, but if we come to the female reproductive system, they have a limited period of reproductivity, which is your fertile period, and after the menopause they cannot produce viable oocytes. तापरे आमे जिबा detailed anatomy of the male reproductive system. कौन कौन constituents अच्छी male reproductive system रो आमे जेमती आगरो डिस्कशन करथिले गोटे scrotal pouch रहिबो कि scrotum रहिबो जहाँ भितरे हमर testis रहिबो and ए testis सहित genital duct system associated हेकी रहिबो. Duct system गुडा को कोन ना तमरा epididymis रहिबो, vas deferens रहिबो, ejaculatory duct रहिबो and finally सबुतक urethra रे जायकी drain करिबो. ता सहित किछिटा accessory sex glands मध्य रहिबो जो माने कि तांको secretion add करिवे तमर seminal fluid सहित and it will make the sperms more viable and reproductive. And finally the penis. ताले हमें details रे जिबा कौन कौन system अच्छी तमरो male reproductive system रो कौन कौन parts अच्छी and each parts को हमें आउट के details रे दिखिबा. ताले चलो गोटे छोटो diagram करिकी गोटे easy diagram which has a very easy to do labelings. With that we will explain our male reproductive system. तो आम मान डायग्राम टी आगु कर व्हाइट बोर्ड रे ये जो डायग्राम टी देखुच पिला माने this part is called as your testis. And where is this testis located? This testis is located in the scrotum or the scrotal pouch. The scrotal pouch has many layers around it. जोटा कि आमे डिटेल्स रे स्लाइड रे डायग्राम अछि देखिबा. तापरे कोन अछि scrotal pouch भितरे तमरो testis रहिला. Testis will produce what? This will produce sperms. Now these sperms will be transferred to this particular part which is called as your epididymis. Okay. ये जो डक्ट सिस्टम टा रहिला मु तुमको कहितली जेनिटल डक्ट सिस्टम अछि तो स्क्रोटल पाउच रे रहिला टेस्टिस टेस्टिस रे स्पर्म प्रोडक्शन हैला these sperms will move into this ductal system which is called as your epididymis. Now this epididymis will lead into vas deferens and this vas deferens, which is a long tube as you can see this one, it will bypass your urinary bladder and take a turn. When it is taking a turn, this is a common passage from which your urinary bladder is also draining to the urethra and as well as your vas deferens is also draining to the same urethral part. Before draining into the main urethral tube, this vas deferens is supplied by an accessory gland which is called as your seminal vesicle. This seminal vesicle will secrete its secretion into the urethral part and together these two will form a short stretch of duct which will be called as your ejaculatory duct. ताले कौन हैला epididymis will lead into vas deferens will bypass your or pass over the urinary bladder fold हेकी urinary bladder रो base रे दी पट side रे एटा हमें गोटे half रो picture दिखेचे दीपटे सिमिलर स्ट्रक्चर्स रोची a pair of seminal vesicle or a pair of seminal glands are present and these seminal vesicle will drain their secretions into the vas deferens. Now, this particular duct of the seminal vesicle as well as the vas deferens, they both will make a system of duct which is called as ejaculatory duct. This ejaculatory duct then it will pass into the urethra and finally, it will open up through the urethral meatus. Urethra टा कौन? Urethra टा है गोटे common passage जो थे तमरा urinary bladder रू कौन तैयारी है कि बाहरी बो urine आउ vas deferens रे कौन आसीबो sperms will come. Now, this sperms and urine both will be drained through this urethral meatus. जितेबाला आम यूरेथ्रल मीटस डिस्कशन करुचे कि यूरेथ्रार पार्ट्स देखुचे तो पार्टा यही जगह देखिपुच गोटे ग्लैंडुलर स्ट्रक्चर मु ड्रॉ करची. दिस ग्लैंडुलर स्ट्रक्चर इज कॉल्ड एज corpus, sorry, this is called as your prostrate gland. Okay. Now, this prostrate gland will lead into the urethral pouch which will again be supplied by one more accessory gland which is your corpus gland or bulbourethral gland. ताले आमे एठी कोन देखिले तीनटा accessory glands देखिले urethral tube आसिला common passage for both urine and sebum. Vas deferens through रे तमरो sperm transport हेकी आसिला एठी seminal fluid मिसिला through the seminal vesicle then prostate gland रो secretion add हला तापरे corpus gland रो secretion भी add हला. So सबुतक secretion add हे गला परे sperm सहित the fluid that we will call it as semen. Now, the seminal fluid as well as urine both have a common passage which is your urethral meatus. ताले एतिकी जाय आमे देखिले कोन कोन पार्ट्स रहिला हमरो मेल रिप्रोडक्टिव सिस्टम रो. डक्ट सिस्टम कोन कोन रहिला, मेजर पार्ट्स कोन रहिला, टेस्टिस रहिला, डक्टल सिस्टम रहिला and this is your erectile organ which is called as your penis. ताले चलो स्लाइड्स रे आउ टिके डिटेल डायग्राम से मानकर देखिबा. जहाँ मु आगुरी डिस्कशन करि सारिछि scrotal sac रहिबो दीपटे दीटा scrotal sac and it will be divided by a septa. This septa is called as your septum scroti. Now, septa रे divide हे गला परे amro uniformly two testes will be present in both the pouches and the temperature of the scrotal sac is always maintained 2 degrees lower to your body temperature. This particular temperature is important because it will help in proper production, maturation as well as storage of sperms. पिला माने एठी समस्ते कहंती प्राय बहिरे लिखा है थाए sperm production पाई दरकार हुए. The most important thing is not only production, this 2 degree temperature is important for sperm production, maturation as well as storage. ए तीनटा जाक function is essential and it will take place only at a temperature which is 2 degree lower than your body temperature. Next we will come to testis. Testis मु diagram रे देखेली तम मानको दीपटे दीटा scrotal pouch रे there are a pair of testis. जदि single कहिबा हमें singular कहिबा it is TES TIS. जदि plural कहिबा it is TES TES. जदि testes कहउछ माने it is a pair of testis. It is a small pinkish oval structure and जेतेबेले छुआटी माँ पेटरे थाए which is your prenatal period सेतेबेले testis develop हेई थाए आउ कोठी थाए ना तमरो किडनी जोठी develop हुए सेही जगह रे तमरो testis भी develop करे and by the 7th month of development this testis will descend into the abdominal section and then it will come to the scrotal pouch. जदि descend न करि पारुची then again it will lead to a diseased condition. सेटा को हमें diseases रे deal करिबा. Next covering. तीनटा covering थाए तमर टेस्टिस उपरे एठी मार्क कर दोची we have 3 different coverings of the testis. From the outside we have tunica vaginalis, then we have tunica albuginea, आउ innermost layer टाको कहा जाए tunica vasculosa. ताले ए तीनिटा कवरिंग जेमती तमे स्लाइड रे देखि पारुछ. These 3 are the protective coverings of your testis. After the coverings of the testis, we will move into the testicular lobules. Now each testis is compartmentalized into 200 to 300 lobules, which are formed by the ingrowth of your tunica albuginea layer. Now this tunica albuginea layer will form septate like structures, and it will divide each of your testicular lobules into a single compartment. Now each lobule will contain 1 to 4 seminiferous tubule, which are the major site for spermatogenesis. Now where the spermatogenesis it will take place in the seminiferous tubule, आमे detailed structure गोटे देखिबा slide रे. This is your seminiferous tubule, जो थरे की गोटे basement membrane अच्छी. Outside layer is called as your basement membrane. Basement membrane भितर को तमरा germinal layer रहिला, which will consist of your spermatogenic cells as well as Sertoli cells or nurse cells. आउ दीटा interstitial seminiferous tubule भितरे जो space टा रहे सेटा को आमे कहू interstitial space, and in those interstitial spaces lies your Leydig cells. ये जो पूरा seminiferous tubule रो diagram तो माने देखुछो. Sertoli cell रो काम कोन, it will nourish the developing spermatogonial cells, and Leydig cells will produce the major hormone, which is your testosterone. Now coming to the ductal system of the testis. जो sperm produce hela tamaro seminiferous tubule रे, it has to be transferred so that it can go via the urethral lining in order to copulate in case of female. Vaginal tract भितर को जिबा दरकार ता पई तार गोटे transport system अछि. This transport system is called as its genital duct system. It comprises of your seminal tubules, which will lead into the straight tubules. As you can see the diagram I have drawn on the board also. Each of these seminiferous tubules will lead into straight tubules. The straight tubules will form a mesh like area, which is called as your rete testis. It is a dense network of all the seminiferous tubules leading into the straight tubules, and from these rete testis efferent ductules will come out. Around 12 to 20 efferent ductules will fuse to form your epididymis. Epididymis कौन पिला मैंने? Epididymis is that structure which you can see in green color in the slide that is shown. We have 3 parts of the epididymis. Upper part is called as the head or caput epididymis. The middle part is called as the body of the epididymis or corpus epididymis, and the tail part is called as your caudal epididymis. Now these 3, what they will do? They will form your vas deferens. This epididymis will lead into vas deferens, and the major function is sperm maturation, and it will also provide nourishment to the growing sperms. After that, the vas deferentia will lead into the abdominal area. At first it is a coiled structure, but when it enters into the abdomen, it becomes straight and the terminal portion gets dilated. As you can see in this slide, this dilated terminal portion is the ampulla. The ampulla together with the seminal vesicle of both sides will form a ejaculatory duct that will drain into the urethral part. And the major function over here is it will convey the sperms during the sexual act from the epididymis to the urethra. Okay. Now, what are the ejaculatory ducts? कहिचे आगुरु seminal vesicle आउ vas deferens रो ampullary part मिसिकी तमरा ejaculatory duct formation करिवो. These are, they will carry the sperms and the secretion of the seminal vesicles. Then urethra. Urethra ta कोण? Now, it is a common passage for both your semen and urine. It consists of 3 major parts: proximal prostatic urethra, because it is surrounded by the prostate gland, middle membranous urethra, and finally, the spongy or penile urethra. Why we say it as spongy? Because जेतल details आम penis रो structure देखिबा, there is a spongiosum layer through which this urethra will pass. So, this part or the distal part is called as spongy urethra. Now, accessory glands ma aguru koi sachi seminal vesicle, they will secrete alkaline fluid which will contain fructose, prostaglandins and some clotting proteins, which will provide the fructose will provide nourishment and prostaglandins will help in the muscular movement, so that it can travel via the vagina of the female into the reproductive tract, and the clotting factors will also help in its function. Then the prostate gland, it is also an accessory gland and it will secrete a slightly acidic fluid which will contain citrate for the sperm nourishment, anticoagulant enzymes and certain proteolytic enzymes. This fluid will nourish and activate the sperms and help it to swim through the genital tract. And along with these two, we have yet one more paired bulbourethral gland which opens below the prostate gland and it is draining into the spongy urethral part. This gland is about the size of a pea seed and it secretes alkaline fluid to the urethra, which will help in maintaining the pH from being more acidic than the urine content. As the urine is acidic, so this alkaline fluid will help maintain the pH, and this will also help in lubricating the penis and the lining of the urethra. And finally, the penis. Penis is the erectile copulatory organ which is cylindrical in shape and it has three parts: a shaft or the major part which is called as the shaft or the body, terminal portion which is bulbular in structure, it is called as the glans penis, and root which is adjacent to the main body, and it is supplied by three cylindrical tissue masses. We can see in this diagram there are two upper side रे दीटा dorsal mass अछि और mid ventrally गोटे mass देखा जाउछि, तीनिटा गोल structure देखि पारुछो. These two upper portions are called as your dorsolateral corpus cavernosum, and the mid ventral region रे जोटा देखुछो tissue, that is called corpus spongiosum, into which the urethra opens. And now, this is the entire scenario of your male reproductive system. We have already discussed all its parts: testis, then your ductal system, how it is leading to the urethral meatus and helping in the transfer of semen. Now, major functions ame each part deal kala bale individually kahithile: testis ro epididymis, vas deferens, seminal vesicle, prostate gland, urethra, bulbourethral gland, penis. They all do their part in helping the proper functioning of the reproductive system. Now, coming to regulation part, केमती regulate हुए ये सब activities? We have a hypothalamo pituitary testis axis. तो माने endocrine system पढ़िला बेले hypothalamus और pituitary विषय रे पढ़िथिबो. So, these are the glands that will secrete certain hormones that will regulate your testicular activities. Hypothalamus releases gonadotropin releasing hormones which act on the testis, which act on the pituitary gland to secrete luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. These luteinizing hormone will target your testicular cells ro Leydig cells को target करिबो. Leydig cells टा कोन? हमरो interstitial cell which will produce testosterone, and FSH will target the Sertoli cells or the nursing cells, and it will help in the production of sperm, spermatogenesis को trigger up करिबो. Now, ए सब प्रोसेस जेतोले ट्रिगर अप होची Leydig cells रो तमरो testosterone आसुची, dihydrotestosterone and estradiol secretion हबो, and Sertoli cells will produce inhibin and activin. Inhibin रो major role हैला, it will inhibit the secretion of FSH from the pituitary, and activin रो role हैला, it will stimulate negative feedback गोटे हैला positive feedback. Negative feedback रे inhibin negatively regulate करूची pituitary to secrete its endocrine secretions, but when activin is present in the blood system, it will stimulate pituitary in a positive way, so that more amount of FSH will be released. Similarly, जो testosterone level blood को बढ़ी जाउची blood रे सेतेबेले सेरा गोटे नेगेटिव फीडबैक दोची टू दी हाइपोथैलेमस सो दैट गोनाडोट्रोफिन रिलीजिंग हार्मोन कमी जिवो एंड अल्टीमेटली पिट्यूटरी रो सिक्रेशंस कम होबो. Now these are certain diseases or disorders of your male reproductive system जो थरे कि तमरो प्रोस्टेट ग्लैंड रे कार्सिनोमा हुए, benign and malignant cancers are produced in your prostate gland. Sterility जहाँ को हमें कहबा it is when the sperms are unable to fertilize the ovum, that condition is called as sterility. Importances जेतबेले तमरो erectile function of the penile or the penis is obstructed, it is called as your impotence. And hydrocele जो दीटा लेयर तुमको देखैथिली ट्यूनिका वजाइनालिस भितरे जो fluid accumulate करे सेटा जदि अधिका हे जाए then it will lead to a condition which is called as hydrocele. Now जहाँ हमें पढ़िले तार गोटे छोटो वीडियो देखिबा.
The penis and the urethra form part of a man's urinary and reproductive system. The scrotum, testicles, vas deferens, seminal vesicles, and prostate gland comprise the rest of the male reproductive system. The testes produce sperm for reproduction and testosterone, the primary male sex hormone. Surrounding the testes is the scrotum. This thick-skinned sac protects the testes and also keeps them slightly cooler than body temperature for normal sperm development. During puberty, the testes increase testosterone production. This causes a sequence of changes, including enlargement of the scrotum and testes, lengthening of the penis, and development of additional adult features. On top of the testes is the epididymis, a coiled tube that collects sperm from the testes and provides an environment for sperm to mature. The prostate gland lies just under the bladder and surrounds the urethra. The prostate produces the fluid in the semen that nourishes sperm. Normally the size of a walnut, the prostate gland enlarges with aging and may also increase in size due to prostate cancer. This puts pressure on the urethra and may result in difficulty urinating. The urethra is a channel that transports urine and semen out of the body. The opening of the urethra is located at the tip of the glands of the penis.
ताहले आमे फाइनली गोटे डिस्कशन करिबा वाइंड अप करिबा कौन कौन आमे आज पढ़िले. ये जो एंटायर सिस्टम टा मु ड्रा कली एथरे तमरो मेजर रिप्रोडक्टिव ऑर्गन which is your testis. Testis will produce the sperms which are your major or the gametes or the primary sexual reproductive gametes, and these sperms they will be transferred from testis via the epididymis into the vas deferens. Along with the accessory gland secretions, it will lead into the urethra through the urethral meatus. तापरे testis भितरर जदि क्रॉस सेक्शन आमे देखिबा, this is the entire cut section जो थरे कि तमरो तीनटा लेयर बाहर रहला vaginalis, then your vasculosa layer, then your albuginea layer. Albuginea layer septa formation करिवो, lobule तयारी कला 200 to 300 lobules. These will lead into the straight tubules, then to the rete testis, efferent ductules which will lead into epididymis. तापरे एपटे मु तुमको epididymis परर structure बुझेई सारछि. So this ends our male reproductive system. Now coming to the contents, your female reproductive system will consist of a pair of ovaries, a pair of fallopian tubes, a single uterus, a single vagina, and the external genital structures, accessory genital glands as well as mammary glands. What are ovaries? Ovaries are almond shaped bodies and it is the primary sex organ in case of females. The broad ligament of the uterus attaches to the ovaries by a double layered fold of peritoneum which is called as the mesovarium. The ovarian ligament anchors the ovaries to the uterus and the suspensory ligament attaches them to the pelvic wall. So, when we see the ovary is not actually directly connected to the uterine cavity, rather it is held in position by the help of these ligamentous structures. The presence of hilum in ovary supplies blood vessels and connective tissue into and out of the ovary. Each ovary consists of a germinal epithelium which covers the surface of the ovary and it is composed of simple squamous epithelium. The tunica albuginea is the whitest capsule of dense irregular connective tissue which is located inner to the germinal epithelium. Then comes the ovarian cortex, which is inner to the albuginea layer, and it consists of ovarian follicles in different stages of development. Then we have the ovarian medulla, which is deep to the cortex, and it contains blood vessels, lymphatic vessels as well as nerve fibers. We also have ovarian follicles, which consist of oocytes in various stages of development, and the cells surrounding them will provide nourishment to the oocytes, and it will secrete estrogen as the follicle will grow in size and mature. And the mature Graafian follicle is a large fluid filled follicle that ruptures and expels the oocyte by the process of ovulation. The corpus luteum is the remnant of the mature Graafian follicle after ovulation, and it produces progesterone, estrogen, relaxin and inhibin hormones. Now, this is a transverse section through ovary. As you can see in the slide, we have inner to the germinal epithelial layer, we have the tunica albuginea layer, and we have all the follicles in different stages of development. We have a mature follicle with a huge antral cavity, and when ovulation takes place, the ovum is expelled out, leaving behind a yellow tissue, which is called as your corpus luteum. This corpus luteum will secrete progesterone for the maintenance of this particular ovum, which will get into the uterine cavity through the oviduct or the infundibulum. Now, what are infundibulum what are the fallopian tubes or oviducts? These are paired structures present on both sides of the uterine cavity, muscular tubes about 12 centimeter in length, and the wall is composed of mucosal layer, muscularis layer and serosal layer. This entire structure can be divided into 4 parts. The infundibulum, which is a broad funnel shaped proximal part, and it bears finger like projections, which are called as fimbri. The ampulla is a long thin walled and widest portion. Isthmus is the narrow thick walled stretch that will lead into the uterine part, and this uterine part will pass through the uterine wall and communicate with the uterine cavity. The major function of these tubes are they will transfer the expelled ovum from the mature Graafian follicle to the uterus. Now, what is a uterus? Uterus is a large inverted pear shaped and highly elastic median sac. As you can see in the diagram, it is a wall, its wall is very thick and highly vascular, which will help in implanting the embryo. It is located between the urinary bladder and the rectum, and it is a site for implantation of the fertilized ovum. Now, it is composed of 3 layers: the outer perimetrium, the muscle layer, which is the myometrium, and the inner layer, which is the endometrium. This entire uterus can be divided into 4 parts. We have the fundus or the upper wide portion, which is dome shaped and which receives the fallopian tubes. We have the cornua, which are the upper corners where oviduct will enter the uterus. We have the body or corpus, which is the middle large part of the uterus, where if at all implantation will take place, the fetus will develop in that particular part. And finally, the cervix, which is the lower narrow part and projects into the vagina. The cavity of the cervix between the internal os and external os is known as cervical canal, and the major function is it will receive the ovum from the fallopian tube. It forms the placenta for the development of the fetus. Now, coming to vagina, it is a large elastic muscular tube and extends from cervix to outside of the body. It is a highly vascularized organ, and it opens to the outside through your vaginal orifice. And the major function is it will receive the penis during copulation, and it will serve as birth canal during parturition. Now, the external genitalia consist of mons pubis, which is the fleshy elevation above the labia majora, and it bears pubic hair. Then we have the vestibule, which is a depression in the anterior portion to the vagina, and it is flanked by labia minora and majora. Labia majora are the 2 outer large thick folds of skin that will form the boundary of the vulva, and labia minora are the two inner small thin moist folds that lies between the labia majora. They are fused posteriorly to form the fourchette and also contains numerous sebaceous glands. We have clitoris, which is a small erectile organ, and it is covered by stratified squamous epithelium. It is homologous to penis in function. Then we have the perineum, which is the area between the fourchette and the anus, and in this diagram whatever structures we have discussed, you can see we have the clitoris, we have the labia majora, labia minora, we have the urethral meatus, the vaginal opening and the vestibule, perineum, and finally the anal opening. Now, coming to accessory genital glands, we have a pair of Bartholin's gland and a pair of Skene's gland. These are the accessory genital glands in case of females. The Copus gland is homologous to this particular Bartholin gland in females, and its duct will open outside the hymen into the vestibule. The Skene's gland is located in the anterior wall of the vagina, and it is homologous to the prostate gland of male. The major function is it will secrete a clear viscous fluid which will serve as a lubricant during copulation. Now, we have the mammary glands. Here in this picture we can see this consists of lobes which are divided into lobules, and finally alveoli which will secrete milk, and the milk secretion is stimulated by prolactin when the infant will start sucking the breast. Now, this is in general your entire reproductive system in case of females. We have the different parts of the fallopian tube, and this is a summary of all the structure and functions that we have already discussed. Now, coming to the hormonal feedback and regulation of the female reproductive system. What happens? Similar to the male reproductive system, gonadotrophin releasing hormones are secreted by the hypothalamus that will influence the pituitary to secrete luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. These two will act together on the ovary, which will be triggered to secrete estrogen or the female reproductive hormones. Now, when estrogen level goes up in your blood, it will have a negative feedback on the hypothalamus to regulate the inflow of gonadotrophin releasing hormone, thereby decreasing the release of LH and FSH. And these are the diseases, certain diseases that are related to the reproductive tract in females. We have ovarian cancer, we have cervical cancer, HPV, sexual transmitted disease, which is your human papilloma virus sexually transmitted diseases. Menstrual cramping is there. We have vaginal yeast infections, endometriosis and pelvic inflammatory diseases, among many others. And now, coming to the summary of homologous structures between female and male reproductive system. Now that we have discussed both the systems, here is a comparative part of whatever structures are homologous in both the systems. In females, we have ovaries which are homologous to the testis in male, and ovum which is homologous to the sperm cell in male. The labia majora is homologous to scrotum, labia minora is homologous to spongy penile urethra, vestibule is homologous to the membranous urethra, bulb of the vestibule is homologous to corpus spongiosum of the penis, and clitoris is homologous to the glans penis of male. Paraurethral glands are homologous to the prostate gland in male, and the greater vestibular glands are homologous to the bulbourethral corpus gland. Okay, now let us come to a detailed study of the transverse section through ovary. As we have already discussed, the entire ovary has different compartments. We have the germinal epithelial layer, which actually is not the layer that provides the germinal cells. When we will discuss the embryonic development, we will see there that the germinal cells, they are migrated through the yolk sac, and the germinal epithelium which is mentioned over here is not actually the site from where the primordial germ cells will come. Now, what are the different other structures that are there in this particular transverse section which you are seeing in the slide? you can see the elongated from the left hand corner of the slide, you see a elongated structure through which the blood vessels are entering into the uterine or the ovarian cavity. This part is called as the hilum, and this will supply your medullary portion with blood vessels, nervous supply as well as connective tissue supply. Now, what happens? We have numerous primordial follicles in the ovary. These primordial follicles are there in the human reproductive system of females even before birth. ता माने जेतेबेले prenatal condition रे baby is there in the womb of the mother, then only the primordial germ cells, they are converted to primordial follicles and are arrested at a certain stage in the ovary. After reaching puberty, these primordial follicles, they will be converted into primary follicle. They will again acquire various layers around themselves, forming the secondary follicle. Now, when the secondary follicle will develop a fluid filled antral cavity, जोटा तमे third diagram रे देखि पारुछो, गोटे छोटो yellow color cavity अछि in the entire follicular structure, that part is called as the antral cavity. And when this antral cavity is formed, we say that it is a tertiary follicle. Now, this tertiary follicle will mature into a Graafian follicle. What will happen? The antral cavity will increase in size and the oocyte will be layered with an zona pellucida. The outer layer that will encircle your oocyte will be called as the zona pellucida. Outside or outer to this layer, we will have radiating cellular structures which will be called as corona radiata. Now, this mature follicle is ready to release the ovum in the process of ovulation. जेतेबेले आमे regulation in hormonal sequences पढ़िबा सेतेबेले देखिबा जे how your ovulation takes place, what are the hormones that are responsible. एबे पई एतिकी जानि थाओ जेतेबेले mature Graafian follicle रू ovum टा release होची ता परे जहा remnant रहि गला तमरो mature Graafian follicle रो सेटा को आमे कहिबा corpus luteum. Okay, we say that it is a developing corpus luteum. Ovum ro fate kono? This ovum will be captured by the fimbriae and it will enter into the uterine tube. Via the uterine tube, it will travel towards the uterine cavity. And jadi fertilization हुए ताहले सेटा जाइकी तमरो uterine wall रे implant हबो. जदि fertilization न होची ए जो ovum टाइटू बाहरेला expelled out होची, that will be degenerated within the fallopian tube. तापरे corpus luteum रो कामो कोण? ए जो mass remnant mass of your Graafian follicle remains called as corpus luteum, सी कोण करिवो? It will secrete progesterone hormone. Progesterone hormone will do what? It will help in maintaining this ovum in the uterine cavity. If at all fertilization takes place, this progesterone will assist in various other changes that will take place in your uterine wall, and the fertilized egg will go and get itself implanted in the uterine endometrial cavity. Now, jadi endometrium re embedded hei paruni, implantation hei paruni due to fertilization failure kuho ki for any other reasons, then we will have the endometrial lining will be degraded and the menstrual cycle will result. So, this is all about your transverse section through ovary, how the various follicles develop, how the ovum is expelled, how they are captured by the fallopian tube, and what happens to the remnant regions of your mature Graafian follicle. Now that we have discussed all the anatomical structures that are present in the female reproductive system, let us now come to the functional aspect in a bit more detailed way. Let us come to the functional aspect. In the previous slide, which focused the transverse section through ovary, we have seen that the corpus luteum was secreting progesterone and estrogen. So, this is the major site for production of these hormones and the site of ovum development and ovulation, as we have already seen. the development of ovum in various stages in the ovarian cavity. Now, coming to the fallopian tubes, which are also called as oviducts, these carry the ovum from the ovary to the uterus, and usually this is the site of fertilization of the male and female gametes. Now, coming to fimbriae, these are those structures that are present on your fallopian tubes that will create a negative suction pressure, which will sweep the ovum into the fallopian tube following ovulation. What about the uterus? As already discussed, uterus is a pear shaped organ in which the embryo and the fetal development will take place. It is involved in the menstrual cycle also. In absence of fertilization, the entire endometrial lining of the uterus is thawed off, which we call as the periodic cycle or the monthly cycle or the menstrual cycle. What about the cervix? This is the area which separates the vagina from the uterus. It holds the fetus in place during pregnancy, and it dilates during the birth to allow the fetus to leave the uterus. So, cervix acts as a passage between the vagina and the uterus. What about vagina? Vagina is that extended part from the cervix to the external environment. It provides a way or a passage for the sperms as well as the menstrual discharges. It also functions as the birth canal, which helps the developed baby to come out of the uterine cavity after the entire process of gestation has been completed. Through this, it comes out of the body of the mother. So, it also serves as the birth canal. Now, we have in detail described the structural aspect, functional aspect, what are the different glands that are involved, what are the different structures that are involved in your reproductive system of female. Now, let us have a quick summary of all that we have already discussed. Now, we will discuss in details what are the structures that are involved in your female reproductive system. It is a recap of whatever we have already learned through the slides. We will start with the ovary. I have already explained in the ovary follicular development takes place and the ovum is expelled out by the process of ovulation. This ovum is now taken up by these finger like projections, which is the fimbriae. Okay. And this part, which includes the fimbriae of the oviduct, is called as the infundibular part or the proximal part of the infundibulum. The ova will or the ovum will enter this fimbriae, come up to the ampullary part. This is the part that will connect the infundibulum with the isthmus, and this particular ampulla is the widest part in the entire oviduct. This will lead to a narrow stretch, which is called as your isthmus. Now, within this ampulla and isthmus, when the ova is travelling or the ovum is travelling, there are chances that if there is sexual intercourse and the sperm through the penile copulatory organ, if it would have travelled through the vagina and enter into the uterine cavity, it might travel up place and fertilize the ovum that is already present in our fallopian tube. So, this is the site where fertilization might take place if there is successful intercourse and the sperm has successfully travelled up the uterine lining. Once this particular fertilization process takes place, the fertilized egg will now move to the uterine part of the fallopian tube, which will lead into the uterus or the main body of your female reproductive system. Our entire uterus will consist of the middle part, which is this elevated part, as you can see. It is a somewhat bulged area, and this we call it as fundus. The narrow stretch through which this fallopian tube will enter into the uterine cavity is called as the cornua, and the major body mass is the body of the uterus. Now, this particular area is lined with 3 layers, as I have already mentioned. These 3 layers include your perimetrium or the outer layer covering of the uterine cavity. Then we have the myometrium. Myo means muscles. So, this is the muscular stretch of layer that is present in your uterine walls. And finally, we have the endometrium or the inner lining, which is highly vascularized to support the implanted embryo if fertilization is successful. Now, this vascularization will help in nourishing this implanted embryo, and further the process will continue, the baby will develop, and after the period of gestation is complete, it might travel through this cervical canal, which will widen up through the vagina, it will come to the exterior. So, now that we have seen the entire scenario of what are the different components of uterus, how the fallopian tubes is divided into 4 distinct parts, that is our infundibulum, ampulla, isthmus and our uterine part, how this particular ovum which is released is taken up by the fimbriae, fertilized, implanted and then hosted in the uterine cavity for further development. One most important thing in this particular system which is there in your females is it produces only one viable oocyte. In the entire cycle, monthly cycle, many follicles they are destined to grow and mature, but ultimately just one matures and only one ova is released per cycle. And it is also to our knowledge that in each cycle just one ovary will release the ova, either the left or the right side. We do not get 2 ova at a time, just one ova is expelled per cycle in this particular manner. And what is the functional significance of the ovary being positioned in this position without any firm structural support? There is no direct connection between the ovary and the uterine cavity. It is held by the ligaments that we have already discussed. So, now that we have had a entire or we can say a gross idea about the entire system, we can go on to see a 3D video snap, which will in details explain how the process is taking place, how magnificently the things are carried out and how beautifully the entire process occurs. Here you can see a 3D model of the female reproductive system. You can see on the thorax we have 2 mammary glands. I have already told about the nipple, areolar structures, lobules and the alveolus. Then we come to the abdominal area where you can see the vagina. This vagina leads into the cervix, cervix further continues into the uterus, and here we can have a view of how it is actually located within our abdominal cavity. These 2 whiter structures you see are the ovaries. They are actually held in position by ligaments and not any firm structure. So, you see this is the cervical canal through which your sperms may enter, and this is the ovary from where your ovum will be expelled. It will be taken up by these finger like projections which are there just on the head portion of the ovary. As you can see in this video, here egg is being discharged, which will travel through this particular fallopian tube. These are the projections you see in the fallopian tube. So, this is how the entire system works. Thank you for your patient hearing.